It is a beautiful day at the Mount Rushmore National Memorial. And you know, visiting a place like this, every day is a beautiful day. This is my third or fourth time that I've been to this memorial. And every time that you come, it can't help but to leave you in awe and appreciation for what was achieved here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. So unlike other times that I visited Mount Rushmore National Memorial, this time I'm going to take I believe it's called the Presidential Walk, or it's a walk that'll take us, I should say, down through the sculptor's studio and then along a trail that will open up to some beautiful views and photo opportunities of the memorial. So as I'm filming this, it's about the third week in July, or June I should say, and the temperature, the weather couldn't be more beautiful. It is probably in the mid 70s, some clouds in the sky, and smatterings of blue sky as well. And down that path, and you can probably ski it, are the sculptures of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Teddy Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. So I'm going to find my girlfriend who's visiting from Brazil, and we'll take you along on the walk. Go down and visit the sculpture studio and maybe get some nice pictures along the way. Missouri. Okay, so Savannah found her way over to this little spot here, and she's the first one in South America. Look at her.
No, you're the first one today.
There.
That's awesome.
First one. There's Savannah.
Have you been able to go to
from Brazil.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. The first one from Brazil, huh?
Yes.
All right. So as you walk up, they've got some various, I don't know if you would call them vendors or not, but here are free yoga meditation books if you'd be so inclined. But just up ahead is the walkway with, I believe, flags of every state in the Union. We found our way to the Avenue of Flags, and I don't know if it's actually called the Avenue of Flags, but you've got all the flags of the Union, District of Columbia, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa. Look at this. Hawaii, Idaho, Territory of Guam. Oh, it's a beautiful day. It's so nice to be here at a place like this when it's not too hot or too cold, too windy, raining. Here you got Missouri, Montana, Nebraska. Wonderful. Really nice. Oh, this is a special place. And there you have the presidents right there. Look at that. And as I was talking to a ranger in the information center, he was saying that there'll never be another sculptor up there, because to put another one up, it would probably crack the ones that are there now. So all that talk about putting another face on Mount Rushmore is probably not gonna happen. But look at that. This is the Grand View Terrace right here. Wow. Fantastic. So where we're actually going is we're going down to the sculpture studio, which is gonna be down this trail right here. So we're gonna take a nice walk and spend the better part of an hour or two going down and learning a little bit more about this special place here.
What? Where?
Look at the pine trees. Oh, it's gorgeous. So this is the historic viewing terrace, sculpture studio, 0.2 miles, Presidential Trail, and that's the direction we're taking. Well, this would be the first stop on the trail, and they have a fireplace here and a sculpture of probably the artist. This is see if I can pronounce his name, Gutzon Borglum, sculptured by his son Lincoln Borglum. So there he is. Look at that. Isn't that something? Boy, the talent to be able to do that. Wow. Just really a special place. I would imagine they have different events here. History of the United States of America. Almighty God, from this pulpit of stone, the American people render thanksgiving and praise for the new era of civilization brought forth upon this continent. Centuries of tyrannical oppression sent to these shores God-fearing men to seek in freedom the guidance of the benevolent hand and progress toward wisdom, goodness toward men, and piety toward God. Here you have it. All right, let's go down to the sculpture studio. And we have found our way down to the sculpture studio. And as we do so, I turn to my left and I see a pair over here with their cameras getting a nice nice shot right there. Look at that. Maybe that's the shot to get. Beautiful. Really nice. Alright, so let's go and see if we can't find our way into the sculpture studio here. There we go. Very nice. And then to the left of the front door of the sculpture studio is the Presidential Trail, which is a half mile, 250 steps. So here is it actually sounds like there's something in progress here.
About 1 year of carving, donated money, and then the money runs out. And 1928, they have carved anything. So there are two individuals here in South Dakota that are very interested in seeing this project succeed. And they are the center two busts on the mantle here. Center left is Senator Peter Norbeck. Center right is Congressman William Williamson, both of South Dakota. They will go to Congress and they will lobby for money.
I'm not going to try to.
And Congress will grant them funding to continue
I'm not going to try to
work
record
on
the whole
that
thing,
project.
but I'll share a little bit with
Or
you.
begrudgingly accepts the funding from the government, but he doesn't like being limited in what he can do as an artist by federal funding. Mr. Borglum, though, has quite the project ahead of him. He must carve a mountain. How does he go about doing that? He learned a lot when he was in Georgia at Stone Mountain. And he learned really well how to use dynamite. In my right hand here, I have a period drill bit. They would drill behind the rock they wanted to remove. They plant their explosive charges and they blow off.
In here they have the bookstore. So there's already a ranger in progress with the talk about the story of the building of Mount Rushmore. Maybe we'll catch the next one.
Using explosives, which is really.
As Silvana kindly told me, the sculpture was where he was working here, all the while looking up through the window up there at the mountain. Look at that. Wonderful. And here are looks like some of the tools. There would be some of the dynamite. Alright, we have found our way to the beginning of the Presidential Trail, or what I believe is the beginning. And there's a sign that says strenuous 250 steps. So we'll see just how strenuous it is, and you'll be able to gauge that by the shortness of my breath, more than likely. Well, thus the name, the Presidential Trail. They have these stops where you can read about the 4 presidents that are on Mount Rushmore, this one being Theodore Roosevelt, and I'll share a little bit of it with you. All my life in politics, I've striven to make the necessary working compromise between the ideal and the practical. That was a letter to his son in 1915. He was born in 1858 in New York, and he had 6 children, and he died in 1919. Education, Harvard. Occupation, author, lawyer, public official, Republican Party. Career highlights: the governor of New York, commander of the Rough Riders in the Spanish-American War. Became the youngest president at age 42. He was the first president to travel outside the United States, worked to bring big business under regulation, began construction of the Panama Canal. And another quote: perhaps the 2 most striking things in the presidency are the immense power of the president in the first place, and in the second place, the fact that as soon as he has ceased being president, he goes right back into the body of the people and becomes just like any other American citizen. Written in the early 1900s, published in Youth's Companion. Gutzon Borgman, Sculpture of Mount Rushmore. Roosevelt seems fairly to have leaped with life. He kidnapped energy and carried it into the nation's home. He remains undrawn. None will engrave him. His spirit is still at large, uncaptured by artist or sculpture. Just further up the steps here is Thomas Jefferson, who was the 3rd president of the United States of America. I have learned to expect that it will rarely fall to the lot of imperfect man to retire from this station with the reputation and the favor which bring him into it. That was the first inaugural address of Jefferson in 1801. He was born in Virginia in 1743. He died July 4th in 1826. He was a lawyer and scientific farmer. In his political party, he was Democratic and Republican. Minister to France, George Washington's Secretary of State, John Adams Vice President. Another quote: never did a prisoner released from his chains feel such relief as I shall on shaking off the shackles of power. Nature intended me for the tranquil pursuits of science by rendering them my supreme delight. But the enormities of the time in which I have lived have forced me to take a part in resisting them and to commit myself on the boisterous ocean of political passions. Letter to P.S. DuPont de Nemours, March 2nd, 1809, 2 days before he left office. Boy, this really is a nice trail, folks. If you come to Mount Rushmore, this is something you'll want to do, if only for the exercise. Boy, they told us we'd get some nice views taking the Presidential Trail. And look at that view looking up at the 4 presidents there. Just beautiful. Really, really something special.
Thank you.
Look at that shot. Wow. What a beautiful view. We made it to a spot where there's a little area of people wait in line to take pictures, such as the view that I'm doing right here. So that's what we're going to do. I'm not going to hold up the line, but I wanted to share that with you. The first president, George Washington, to draw such a line for the conduct of the president as will please everybody, I know is impossible. Letter to James Madison in 1789. Born February 22nd, 1732 in Virginia. He had 2 children, John and Martha, who was adopted, and he died in 1799 in Mount Vernon. No formal education. Occupation, he was a planter and a soldier. Political party for Federalists. Career highlights: officer in the French and Indian War, Commander-in-Chief, Continental Army, American Revolution, President of the Constitutional Convention. The first tax laws were adopted under Washington. The Bill of Rights became law. And here's a quote from his farewell address. Time and habit are at least as necessary to fix the true character of governments as other human institutions. Liberty itself will find in such a government, with powers properly distributed and adjusted, its surest guardian. 1796. Boy, what a view that is. Look at that. Just stunning. Last but certainly not least, the 16th president, Abraham Lincoln. One of my favorites, if only because my dad used to always tell me to read out loud like Lincoln when I was a little boy. And the quote, "Fellow citizens, we cannot escape history. In giving freedom to the slaves, we assure freedom to the free. We shall nobly serve or meanly lose the last, best hope of earth." Annual message to Congress, December 1st, 1862. Born in 1809 in a log cabin in Kentucky. Married Mary Todd in 1842. He had 4 children. His career highlights: elected captain of his company in the Black Hawk War, elected to Illinois State Legislature, member of the U.S. House of Representatives. National highlights: the Civil War began in 1812-1861 with an attack on Fort Sumter. Writ of habeas corpus suspended nationally, 1862. Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. Civil War ended in 1865. Another quote from his first inaugural address was, "We are not enemies but friends. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection. The mystic cords of memory stretching from every battlefield and patriot grave to every living heart and hearthstone all over this broad land will yet swell the chorus of the Union, when again touched as surely they will be by the better angels of our nature." Abraham Lincoln. Well, this is it. This is the end of the trail, so to speak, the presidential trail here at the Mount Rushmore National Memorial. And going back to the visitor center is just a nice leisurely stroll through some beautiful pines. So I hope you enjoyed this walk and talk of this really historic and special place. And have a great day.